Hello everyone, welcome to our world history classes. So from past 2 days we have been discussing about industrial American Revolution and also Enlightenment we discussed last day. Today we are going to discuss about a very new topic, that is Industrial Revolution. Okay, so Industrial Revolution is a very simple topic and you will get questions with respect to this. Okay, so uh, little effort is only required to get the output. Just try to understand what are different characteristics and points, and you'll be able to write a very good answer out of this. Okay, so let's start. So as usual, before entering into the topic, we will first see previous year UPSC questions. So these are the questions I told you from world history. Direct questions will be asked and questions will be repeated. So your input output ratio for the topics which we are studying will be very good. Okay, so the industrial revolution put mobility in the place of stability. Comment. Second question, industrial revolution changed England in character and culture. Comment. Industrial revolution in some countries in Europe was different than that of England. Okay, and what are the social consequences of industrial revolution in England? Okay, social consequences play a very important part that we are dealing in a separate slide altogether with what are the social consequences or social reasons or impact of industrial revolution. Okay, so basically what we try to understand here is what are the characteristics of industrial revolution, what were the causes, where it happened. It actually happened first, it happened in Great Britain or the Britain. So we'll try to understand why in Britain. Okay, why not in any other places? Why in Britain it happened initially, and after a few years only it started coming up in different other European countries. Okay, and very lately it came to India. So how it happened and what was the reason that England was the first country that could start industrial revolution, and then we'll talk about a revolution from yesterday we spoke about feudalism. So from feudalism to guild system to capitalism, how there was a flow. Then we'll talk about the impact of industrial revolution, and then that is our topic of discussion goes on today. Okay, so these are the previous year questions. I told you it's a very simple topic. Little you have to understand about what, why, where, these consequences, and you will be through. Okay. So as usual, first we'll see in world map where United Kingdom or the Great Britain is coming. Okay. You can see here first. I told you whenever you are seeing a map, you're supposed to mark the directions. This is south, north, east, and west. Okay. You should be very clear. Whenever you see a map, mark the directions. Okay, after marking the directions, our point of discussion today is around United Kingdom or the Britain. Okay, last class we were talking about this area. Okay, where American Revolution happened. Okay, and Enlightenment we were talking about this area and the European area, and some American thinkers also came. Enlightenment was there in that European area, and today our topic of discussion we are discussing about is Britain. So you know that it is an island country. Okay, and of course the country is who is an island country will have both positives and negatives. Being an island country, we'll see all those things. Okay, so we'll also go through the 5 different oceans that surround the entire globe. On the north we'll have Arctic, on the south we have Southern Ocean, towards the east you have Pacific Ocean, towards the west you have Pacific, and then in between you have Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean. These are the 5 different oceans you have here. Okay, that's it. Nothing new. We'll get into the little closer map, okay, of Great Britain. Why I've taken this map is that tomorrow onwards we'll be dealing with French Revolution. That may go with 2-3 classes, okay. So in French Revolution, we should be very clear with the countries in the European side. That is why I've taken this map. So 2-3 days continuously, if you see, you'll be familiar with the map. Okay. So we're talking about today Great Britain. France is here. Okay. So only a sea part. Okay. You have English Channel here, and then separated by English Channel, you have France. Okay. This you should be understanding. Only sea apart, the 2 countries are there. 2 great power countries during that time. Then you have Germany here. You have Austria, Hungary. You have Italy, and you have Spain, and you have Russia. Okay, just remember about these countries first. Okay, try to familiar with 2-3 countries, and then we'll go on to understand whenever we study other things. Okay, so we are talking today about Great Britain. Okay, I think you are familiar with these countries. I'm sure you'll be with the names, but little map thing, once you keep doing it, you will get to know. Okay, why I'm emphasizing on map in world history is that we'll be talking about many countries. Okay, if you are not sure about where which country comes where, it will be very difficult to link. And on the positive side, if you are very much synced with the map, it will be very easy for you to link the things. Whenever I'm talking about France or Great Britain or Germany or Austria, I'm talking about Italy, unification in Spain, when we're talking all this, it will be very easy, because when you're telling the name itself, suddenly that respective country's area will come to your mind. Okay, for that purpose we are discussing about the map here. Okay, then we'll be going through this is only with respect to Great Britain. I told you we are separating France from English Channel. The English Channel separates Britain and France, and we have Northern Sea here towards the, this is the eastern side. Okay, this is north, this is south, and this is west. Okay, Atlantic Ocean we have, Isle of Man, Irish Sea, all these things. Okay, not important for us. Okay, this is the, so we are talking about this area here. Okay, this all things come under Great Britain. Okay. Okay, now we'll get into our topic of discussion today, that is industrial revolution. Okay, so what is industrial revolution? Industrial revolution in modern history, or when we're trying to understand now, what is it? The process of change from an agrarian and handicraft economy to one dominated by industry and machine manufacturing. This is simply called industrial revolution. We know that medieval time or the ancient time we had agrarian economy. Okay, and little bit we also had handicraft economy. Okay, so there is a shift or process of change from this agrarian and handicraft economy to what? To industry and machine manufacturing or mass production of goods and items happened. That is what the simply called the industrial revolution. Okay, shift from agrarian and handicraft economy to industry and machine manufacturing is called industrial revolution. Okay, the process began in Britain in 18th century and from there spread to other parts of the world, driving changes in energy use, socio-economics, and culture. So where all the places, the changes we are having in energy use, the way energy was used have changed. Socio-economics obviously have changed because industrial revolution directly related to economy of a country. If economy changes of a country, all these related things will be changed. Society will change, people will change, culture will change, food habit will change, festivals will change, everything will change. So all these changes we were reflecting in the way energy was used, socio-economics, how it is dealing with, and culture. Okay, so this is what about the process, how it was happening. So basically there was a shift from agrarian and handicraft economy to industry and machine manufacturing, and we were seeing the changes in energy use, socio-economics, and culture. Okay, then we'll have continuation of this. Industrial revolution was a period of mechanized mass production of goods in a factory based setup. Okay, this you can keep as a definition when you write answers. Even for GS you can use this very simple definition, but it has all the points. Okay, so mechanized mass production we are telling, factory based setup also we are telling. This is the core of industrial revolution. Okay, before, production used to happen at home. Okay, or domestic production used to happen. What do you mean by domestic production? At home only, backyard of the home, all the production used to happen, and it used to transport it to market for the exchange system, or we had barter system. Okay, barter system was it. Everything changed when mechanized mass production came. Now, no more production at home, no more production, domestic production. What people are supposed to do is they are supposed to move towards factory, and under a roof all production used to happen here. Okay, something called a factory setup has come, so everything happens here. No more production at home. So that was the marking of industrial revolution. This statement you can write in a definition for industrial revolution if you're finding the previous one difficult. This is a very simple statement. Industrial revolution was a period of mechanized mass production of goods in a factory based setup. Very simple. Next, we have to see there were many innovations. And yesterday we were talking about enlightenment. I have told you many scholars have come. They have tried a shift from the conservative, supernatural, spiritual thinking from all those way towards innovations, industrial revolution, commercial revolution, scientific revolutions, mechanized mass production. All these things were coming. So towards a more innovative setup, things were moving. Okay, I'll tell you how these innovations resulted in industrial revolution, how this innovation and industrial revolution are related. Okay, first one is mechanized production. I think it is very simple to understand. When innovation comes, machines are produced. Okay. So when machines are there, production with the help of machines are called mechanized production. And we had a very vast mechanized production was there. Okay. Second one is development of new sources of powering these machines. Okay. Till that time, we did not had much, we used to operate things manually. Okay. We used to use animals to plough the field, or we didn't had no machine. So what happens, the development of innovations come, new machines have come, and also new source of power has come. Okay, that means what, we had steam engine and all those things are coming. Okay, so when all these things have come up, we have something, power can be produced from different sources, so it became easy. Therefore, new machines have come. So the plough were replaced by engines, and in factory setup, you have big machines that is produced with the help of all these powering machines. Electricity was found out. So machines are produced with the help of electricity. Then how electricity is produced, transported from where, with the water, the electricity is produced. So all these things, hydropower is produced. So all these things have emphasized so that development of new source of powering these machines have evolved. Okay. Then technological forays in the field of communication and transport. I told you it is very easy that we can link. If you have steam engine, it will help obviously in the movement of ships. Okay, ships used to and communication and transport become very easy during that time. Okay, which when clubbed together are referred to as industrial revolution. When we are clubbing all these 3 points, we can refer to as industrial revolution. So now you have a very solid statement and definition for industrial revolution. Innovations are there, innovations that resulted in mechanized production, development of new source of powering these machines, technological forays in the fields of communication and transport, which when clubbed together are referred to as industrial revolution. Okay, simple, nothing big. Okay, now we'll try to understand how this was evolved over time. Okay, in this slide, feudalism, we meant to say that it leads to guild system. Guild system have led to capitalism. Okay, we have already seen enough about feudalism last class. Okay, nothing new, feudalism. So we have said that feudalism, there is a pyramid kind of structure was there. I have shown you a picture yesterday. It had a different 4 layers. Okay, last layer was consist of peasants. Okay, then we have lords about them. Lords are also called knights. Okay, then we have chiefs above them, chiefs, and finally we had the king. Okay, and I've told you feudalism is entirely a decentralized setup, decentralized system, where the peasants are the core of doing things and everybody depends upon the work of peasants. Okay, and even though king was on top, monarchy was there, but monarchy was not so powerful. Actually, the lords or the second level was powerful. From the down, if you're seeing, lords or the knights were very powerful. Okay, they were called landlords and they used to impose restrictions on peasants. So they used to control entire peasantry. Everything was in the hand of local landlords. Okay, and we had village autonomy during that time. Okay, all these things we discussed about feudalism, etc. We know that. So feudalism was there in the ancient time. Okay, this feudalism have moved towards guild system. Okay, in NCERTs you have been familiar with this word guild system. Okay, it was there in India also. Okay, we'll see what is the guild system, how it have evolved from feudalism and how it is moving to capitalism. We'll try to understand. Okay, so the guild system is an association of artisans and merchants who oversee the practice of their craft or trade in a particular area. That is called guild system. What is guild system? It's an association like artisans and merchants. That means occupancy based grouping. Okay, employment based grouping, skill set based grouping. Which occupancy you are in, which type of employment you do, what skill set you have, you will be grouped based upon that. That system is called guild system. Okay, so if you're artisans, you will be moved into that category. If you're merchants, you move in that category. If you're ironsmith, you're doctors, lawyers, goldsmith, ironsmith, all these things are different guild. And this grouping together we call as system is called the guild system. Okay, so feudalism have now moved on. Okay, one more reason why feudalism is moved to guild system is that I've told you that plough was replaced by wooden plough was replaced by engines there, tractors have come in, new machines have come in. So agriculture also revolution happened. Okay, a lot of people were occupied in agriculture, like what is happening in India now. That time, majority of the population was depending upon agriculture for employment. But when these machines came, okay, when we can try to explain here. Okay, when machines came, what happened is that, okay, this machines pave path for increase in productivity. Okay, increase in productivity of what? Agri items. Okay, agri goods increase in productivity happen. Therefore, requirement of labor became less, decrease. So you don't need that much labor now, because what? Already you have machines to work instead of labor, so you don't need that much labor now. When requirement for labor have reduced, people have diverted towards guild system. Okay, they started having skill-based groupings and they started moving towards it. This is how from feudalism we have shifted towards the guild system. Okay, this is a movement happened. Basically, it is because of industrial revolution and development of new machines. Okay. So guild system. Okay, other features of guild system is that other features with respect to guild system is that it key privileges only guild members were allowed to sell their goods or practice their skill within the city. Okay, actually it is a closed system. Mobility was not possible. Okay, closed system means the key privilege you have, guild members were allowed to sell. If you are a goldsmith in a city, everybody will buy gold only from you. Okay, if an ironsmith in a city, your competition will be very much restricted because already guild system is in a city. So in the guild system, you have leadership kind of roles and you have the system there. People are responsible and arrangement is done properly, so that they'll make sure that demand and supply of goods are properly met, so that both the sides are in a status quo. That means whatever, there will not be a lot of goldsmith and there will be a lot of demand and supply will be met properly. Okay, how much ever is required in a city, that much workers will be put in. Okay, that is one of the characteristics of guild system. Another thing very important is that nepotism was prevalent in guild system. Nepotism was there. What is nepotism? Okay, this word is very familiar now with respect to whatever Bollywood issues that is going on. But how nepotism was prevalent in guild system is that I told it is a closed system. Okay, that means whomsoever is getting trained under people already guild members, they only will be allowed to the group. Okay, so what I mean to say is that if suppose I am a goldsmith, okay, people come to me to get trained under me, then I'll give training and then I'll admit them to the guild system. Okay, if I'm skilled otherwise, okay, if I'm interested in otherwise, if I come from other city and try to join, it will not happen. Okay, so whomsoever is relatives, whomsoever are friends and family, the admission was in that way. So nepotism were existing in guild system. Okay, then they're taken care of demand and supply of goods, and example ironsmith, goldsmith, doctors and lawyers. Okay, this is with respect to the guild system if you are seeing. You don't have to understand this much also about guild system. I'm just telling because you should be knowing how it has evolved. Feudalism we have studied, so feudalism moved to guild system and guild system is moving to capitalism. Capitalism I'm not talking about it now because we'll have other sessions and it is very simple, you know what is about capitalism. Okay, then we'll talk about the guild system. Okay, this is a picture which showing the guild system where different kind of people, sections of society are occupied in different craft, handicraft or work or profession. You can see here. Okay, in picture is trying to show that. Okay, then we'll come to the industrial revolution back. Okay, industrial revolution from 1757 onwards started in Britain. Year marked is 1757. Industrial revolution is the revolution in the economic process of production of goods in the economy, aided by technological innovations. We have seen this innovation also. We have seen what are the innovations we have seen and how technology aided also we have seen. Okay, it was a revolution because it totally reformed. Okay, this is an important statement. This will be new to you. Okay, it was a revolution because why it is called a revolution, because it is not only Economic revolution, not only limited to the economic realm or the sphere. Realm means sphere. Okay, not only limited to the economic sphere, but also social and political sphere of society. Also, it was extended. I told you, when an economy of a country changes, obviously everything associated with the economy will also change. Okay, society will change, how people dressing will change, their food habits will change, their culture will change, their festivals will change, finally their standard of living itself will change. All these things are related to how economy of the countries, or how the trade inversion is happening, or how much people have money with them. Very simple. Okay, everything will be changing based upon that. So that is a point you can add with respect to industrial revolution. Okay. Now our question: why industrial revolution first in Britain? Because it's a very important question, because UPSC also asked straightforward this question: why industrial revolution happened in Britain first? Okay. These are few points. There are many reasons that you can collate, but these are major points that it should be there in your answer by any cost. Okay. So let us see. First one is that Britain's cost of labor. Okay, Britain had a very high cost of labor during that time. Okay, so why it has to come? I'm not talking about what happened after the machines have come. Okay, I'm talking about why machines have come. What was the need of industrial revolution? Okay, so cost of labor was very high. When cost of labor is very high, what is there? People need some alternative. That okay, actually the salary they gave to people and the profit they're getting from the business or the agriculture, we were not able to match. It was completely disastrous. So entrepreneurs and capitalists started thinking that okay, we need some alternative so that this cost of labor can be managed. Okay, and the alternative which has come as machines. Okay, that is, Britain's cost of labor was very high is one of the reasons. Second one is availability of raw materials. There was nothing less for raw materials with respect to Britain. Why? Because Britain have n number of colonies, including India. Okay, so raw materials will come from colonies, and they themselves have natural resources. Okay, point number 8: natural resources like coal and iron was near to the surface. It is very easy for them to mine also. That was available for them in a small island called Britain. Okay, so availability of raw materials was there, and natural resources like coal and iron was also there. Okay, stable political setup. Okay, because there I told you, it is if you have to imagine about the map now. It is an island country. It is separated by English Channel from France. Then only Ireland is towards the eastern south, towards the western side. Okay, so there is not much interference. Threats are very less. Okay, so you will not get that much threat from others, or neighbors will not come and attack you. Already Britain was very much dominating in army and navy, so that preference they have, and in the entire world they had that predominant position. Apart from that, the polity was also very stable there. This is also a reason that industrial revolution could happen in Britain first. Okay, then large number of colonies. Okay, large number of colonies, I told you. So there is nothing short of raw materials, and there is nothing short of market also. Get raw materials from India, from other colonies, manufacture in their country through ships, because steam engineers said through ships they can take all the raw materials to their country, manufacture there, give employment to people there, and sell it, so that the capitalists in their country get profit, and they have enough market also. They'll come back in there. Okay, so large number of colonies, they got a big advantage. Then rise of capitalism after the end of feudalism. So after feudalism, guild system have come. After guild system, capitalism have come. Okay, that means individual profit was taken care of. Individuals started making businesses, and then more profit oriented work used to happen. So capitalism also favored industrial revolution, and money available for reinvestment for capital formation. Because why? Because a lot of profit was there. They had whatever the profit they could reinvest. Okay, this also you can meet, or you can link religion. Okay, religion, you can link the religion called the Protestants. Okay, Protestants also branch in Christianity. So Protestants during that time, they had a vow from the how they believe, saying that money is not for enjoyment, money is for the again to make more money. Okay, that kind of system they used to believe. So they will not enjoy with the money what a profit they got it, they will reinvest in the business again. So that was also helping. Even religion was also helping in the introduction of industrial revolution. Okay, good natural harbors. Okay, suddenly you have to link with the map. Think about United Kingdom. You have all the sites, oceans, and it is good that, and you have the steam-based ships also. Now you have good army, you have good navies, and what is required, everything is there. You have raw materials, so you have good harbors. You can import raw materials and export finished goods. Okay, then rivers were easily navigable. Even though production happens somewhere inside the mainland, also easily you can navigate because rivers were easily navigable, and you can bring the output and you can sell it to other countries. These were the some of the reasons with respect to why industrial revolution happened in Britain. Okay, then we'll talk about Britain's advantage. Okay, now this is actually a separate slide because already we discussed about why industrial revolution happened in Britain. Then little bit more information is that you can just read the subheading and leave. Large population to work due to agriculture revolution. This is already discussed. I told you in agriculture machines came, so excess labor force was there, so they could be shifted towards factory system. Okay, abundant natural resources, water, power, rivers, harbors. Okay, this also you should be knowing. Rivers, harbors, transportation to and from factories and source of resources, coal, iron ore to build machines and tools. Okay, actually, when somebody is asking you why industrial revolution in Britain first, immediately you have to think about the map. Then you will get all the points. Okay, because it's surrounded by all this by harbors. Then rivers are navigable. Okay, then Britain very famous for imperialism and colonization, so you can link with that. Okay, and also I told you about natural resources near to surface. They had coal, everything. So this also you have to link. Okay, highly developed banking system. I told you the religion also helped in the money formation. Protestants are actually a branch of Christianity. They had Catholics first, and some with some reforms happened, something happened in society. There's another group called the Protestants also came in. So Protestants, the rule which they follow is that whatever money they are making, they should not waste that money in the leisure or luxury activity. They have to use money to make more money. Okay, that was because of that helped capitalism indirectly. Okay, we have theory in sociology also with respect to this. Okay, expanding economy, capital, people could invest in manufacturing, growing overseas trade, mercantilism and colonialism, markets and resources were easily available. I told you what is mercantilism. Britain was following the policy of mercantilism where BOT or balance of trade have to be in favor of Britain. Okay, and colonialism means you can get raw materials and market there in whichever area you are colonizing. So markets and resources, there is no shortage. Political stability was there, no wars on British soil, and parliament passed laws protecting businesses or mercantilism. Okay, and military and political success. I told you they had that at that time the whole world's superior navy and army was with Britain. Okay, so they had all these facilities. Then components of industrial revolution. Okay, what are the components of industrial? You have to be clear when you write. Don't mix and write components, causes, impact, everything. Everything have a proper answer for that. Okay, so you should be knowing that why in Britain industrial revolution happened first. Okay, first you should be knowing about definition. Then you think about why in Britain industrial revolution happened. Second one, you have to think about components of industrial revolution. Then you have to talk about the impact of industrial revolution. Then we are talking about the social consequences. This is the flow of the answer if you are asked this question. Okay, so components of industrial revolution. Revolution in textile sector, faster spinning machines, power loom. Okay, I told you power has come, steam engine have come. So because of all those things, what happened is that faster spinning machines and power loom has come. This have helped in the textile sector. We also know with respect to modern history, when we learn in with respect to India, we know that raw cottons, initially when Britishers came, what was our status? We were good. Balance of trade was in our favor. We used to export finished goods to Britain, cotton especially. What happened later on? What happened? Deindustrialization happened in India. And what happened? We started exporting raw materials. Okay, and Britain used to manufacture in their country, and in turn they'll come back with those end product and sell in India. Okay, that was the fate of India. Same with all the colonies. Okay, so this was a textile sector. They were having huge profits with respect to textile sector. Okay, then steam power. Development of steam engine by James Watt in 1769. Big boost. You don't have to remember all these things, just a data. Big boost to production of, just think that steam power was developed, and because of that, steam engine could operate, and production of goods and items happened because of this. Okay. Revolution in iron production. Iron also helped in the industrial revolution to happen, because mechanization of all industrial process were through this iron. Okay, so that was an important key factor. Revolution in transport and communication, I told you, directly became linked to steam. Okay, rail transport have developed, canal network was developed, water transport using steam powered ships, postal services, all this. So communication and transport, machines, everything, textile sector, all this have come together. So all this are the components of industrial revolution. Okay, now we'll go to impact of industrial revolution. What is the impact of industrial revolution? Okay, impact means what was the after effect? Okay, result. This is very important. Few years they have asked only directly the impact of industrial revolution. If the question is asking only about the impact of revolution, please make sure that you write little bit about the previous stages also. Don't directly hit into the impact. Little bit you can talk about in a paragraph about a definition of industrial revolution. That is a must. Industrial revolution, what is it you have to speak? Then you talk about where it have originated, what are the components, why in Britain, and then you can in detail you can explain impact of industrial revolution if it is been asked. Okay, so in impact of industrial revolution, we can talk about Britain's economy dominated by the industrial sector. What was that? That became the result of industrial revolution. Okay, after effect was that the economy was dominated by industrial sector. Agriculture sector share in GDP declined, even though they had agriculture revolution, but industrial revolution outnumbered them. Okay, outperformed agriculture sector, and development started from there. Okay, what is happening in India? Even though employment is more, agriculture used to outnumber before, and now it is not happening, but employment is still more towards agri sector. So we are not able to develop, and we are not able to channelize people from agriculture to industrial sector now. Okay, that is the problem which India face. Okay, but in England, in Britain, it was all done before only. Okay, even before decades it is done. Agriculture sector outnumbered, industrial sector outnumbered agriculture performances, and GDP from the agriculture contribution was reduced. Okay, and environmental pollution was a negative effect. Okay, it is a negative effect. Environmental pollution happened. Okay, you know that when we talk about environmental pollution, now also we try to relate with the industrial revolution era. Water pollution happened from that time. So we note that. So environmental pollution happened on big time during that time. Okay, and people don't know. They were not knowing that after effects will be all these things. After many 100 centuries, we came to 100 years and centuries, we came to know that okay, this is like this. Okay, become too late to correct certain things also. Demand for raw materials and export markets made the colonial power to look for more territories to colonize. This is also a negative effect. But that means whatever colonies they could import, they were doing. But what happened is that more profit is required. I told you capitalism, that is individual concept, not government concept. Every individual want more profit. Every company, every factory want to earn more and more. They need more raw materials. Because of that, what happened is that this Britain or the country, as they were forced to look for more colonies to get more raw materials. And urbanization was an effect. What do you mean by urbanization? Urbanization means from villages people come, migration happens. So in urban areas, cities where all these factories are there, it is more clustered there with respect to living conditions, and with respect to factories, urbanization happened, development of towns and cities happen. Okay, urbanization, when we're talking little bit, you can speak saying that we have workers migration. Why urbanization happened? Because workers migrated. Okay, workers migrated, and centralized factory based production was there. Workers migrated because of, for what? They wanted to work in factories, because already agriculture was not contributing much to them. Okay, they were having not, it was not profitable, so they have to come to cities looking for work, because factory was there, the people migrated. Okay, and it was like wage based production started. All these things started first in Britain. In the whole world, all these concepts is coming first in Britain. Okay, wage based system is coming. Okay, before, how in feudalism, how it was, whatever producing, a part of the produce in kind will be given to the peasants and the rest will be taken by the landlords. The surplus production will not be there. That means the concept of trade is not at all in the picture. That was their condition. Then we moved to guild system. Okay, guild system also was very closed. Okay, trade concept was not there in guild system. Barter system was there, but producing something and earning a lot of profit, mass production, exporting, importing, all these concepts were not there in during the time of guild system also. But when it comes to capitalism, all these things have emerged. Okay, so wage-based system has come, and obviously rural to urban migration started. All these things you can relate to urbanization. You can use all these points in GS also when you write answers. Okay, very obvious points. So you will get marked for it. Okay, because anybody who write about urbanization, these are the expected points you are supposed to cover. Okay, so these are the impacts of, we'll talk about impacts again. Impacts of industrial revolution. Britain's economy dominated by industrial sector. Agriculture sector shares in the GDP declined. Environmental pollution happened. Demand for raw materials and export markets made the colonial powers to look for more territories to colonize, and urbanization. Urbanization, little bit you can write. Okay. This is about the impact of industrial revolution. Okay. Now we'll talk about the social consequences. Okay. Social consequences also, direct question is asked. Okay. We'll see. Social consequences in 1750. Okay. Social consequences. What are social consequences? I told you, whenever economy of a country is performing good, okay, or if it is performing bad also, anything, any effect on an economy of a country, everything will be affected. First thing to be affected will be the society. Okay, we'll see what are the social consequences in Britain when industrial revolution come in. Okay, first one is that impact on the people was not very positive. It was not so good. Okay, impact on the people was not very positive. Okay, increased migration from villages to the cities in search of people. I told you migration happened, urbanization happened. People migrated from villages to the cities in search of employment because they were moved by wage-based system. Okay, they are getting money for what they are doing. Okay, and economy also moved from barter system towards a cash system. Okay, so because of that, even the money was required. Because of that, people shifted or migrated from villages to the cities. Crowding in cities resulted in poor housing and sanitation. Okay, this is the negatives we are talking. Social consequences, not much positive thing. Almost everything is negative. Okay, later on, I told you when urbanization happened, capitalists were the people who were making profits. Workers were the people who were always in a struggle. Okay, Karl Marx have a theory of class struggle talking about this one. Okay, that means profits are making, but who is making the profit? Capitalists are making the profit. Whose pocket is getting filled? Whose accounts are getting filled? Capitalists is getting benefited. Okay, workers were having a very bad condition due to the initial stages. Later on, in each and every country, in India, it's also Factories Act come in 1881, and all those things happen. So in each country, later on, legislations have come in, parliament have interfered, government come in, and they started making rules for the people for better situations. Then slowly, things have changing. Okay, so the initial consequence we are talking about. Okay, crowding in cities resulted in poor housing and sanitation because slums developed. Because everybody is coming to city for in search of work in factory, so housing and sanitation was very poor working and living conditions they had. Okay, urban area was now divided into two contrasting components. One is slum in one side, other one is luxurious homes. Obviously, who will be the owner of that? Businessmen and the capitalists, and the manager class on the other side were having all these luxurious homes, and majority of the people were living in the slums, and the profit seekers were the businessmen and they were living in luxurious homes. So this division of classes happened in society, and according to Karl Marx, okay, haves and have-nots. Haves and have-nots. Okay, who are the haves? Capitalists. Who are the have-nots? The workers. Always they will have class struggle. Okay, they will have conflicting interest. What do you mean by conflicting interest? One person's interest will not be favor for the other group. Okay, that means whatever workers want, capitalists will not want. Workers will want to work for less hours. Workers want more money. Workers want leave on these days. But the capitalists will not be in that favor. Okay, opposite when you are thinking, capitalists want workers to work for 12 hours. Capitalists want workers to come every day and work. Capitalists want workers to produce more. That is not in favor of workers. So always these two classes will be in conflicting interest is what according to Karl Marx. You can obviously quote Karl Marx here. Okay, so there were two divisions happen, one towards a slum and one towards the luxurious homes. Okay, and migration caused social distress, all these things, because what people who come from joint family came into urban cities, started living as nuclear families. So joint to nuclear family setup has happened, and what happened is that domestic violence happened, new kind of crimes are happening, and all these things are happening. Okay, domestic violence was the main thing because they had their own social distress what was happening. Okay, all these things are the social consequences. Okay, now we have to also talk about part of social consequences. Poverty was there. Okay, something, a new concept was come, because before poverty was there, but they had food because they were the tillers of the land. They had enough food for the year, or if they are not having the food also, they could get by exchange of things in the thing. Now if they want to get food, they need money, and they work on very poor wages. Okay, so poverty was something new which has come in the system, and increase in crimes in cities. Okay, because I told you nuclear family to sorry, joint family to nuclear family setup has happened, and new types of crimes because slums have evolved, all these things were happening. This is also one of the social consequence you can note down. Okay, and life expectancy at the urban centers decreased. Okay, this you will not expect, this point will come here, but this was the truth. When people move to urban areas, initial stages of industrial revolution we are talking. Okay, because they used to work in a very poor living and working conditions. Working conditions were also poor, living conditions also very bad. If you get diseases, communicable diseases, there was nobody to recover or nothing. People was keep on dying, and no problem, from village again migration happened, people will get replaced. So this was the initial struggles people or society was facing during that time. Okay, wages of workers were very paltry, means very poor. No social security. Okay, but that means what? That is medical assistance, nothing was there. Okay, working conditions in the factories were unsafe. Okay, because the machines was not, whatever machines they had, not fenced. Okay, so you know, we have seen pictures even in India also. Okay, you work with machines and accidentally you get your hand cut off, your leg cut off, and you will fall into that. All these things not fenced. All these were the initial struggles people faced in the working condition. Okay, then child labor and participation of women in labor force increased. Okay, why child labor and participation of women? Because capitalists favored, or the businessmen favored, children and women to come and work because they'll work for less wages. Okay, again more profit to them. Okay, they are appointing man in the same place, they have to pay more. They were paying very less wages, and working hours were high as 15 to 18 hours per day, and there was no leave like how we are seeing today, Sunday holiday or weekend. There's no such concept. They have to continuously work for every day 15 to 18 hours till you fall sick. Okay, this was the social consequence of industrial revolution. We will have a quick recap. Okay, we are talking about industrial revolution today. We have discussed the UPSC question. So social consequence, the last question you can see. And we were talking about the world map. Yes, world map. I was talking about 5 different oceans and where United Kingdom or Great Britain comes in. And little closer picture, we are seeing France, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Russia, Spain, and Britain and Ireland. Okay, then Britain itself, a picture we have seen. British Channel is separating United Kingdom from France. Okay. Then we are talking about industrial revolution, and we are talking about the innovations, that is mechanized production, development of new source of powering these machines, technological forays in the field of communication. Then all these things result into industrial revolution. Okay. Then we ask how it is evolved. Okay. Feudalism to guild system towards capitalism. Okay. These 3 things we have. The guild system also we have seen a picture of guild system, how different sections of society were working in different branches. Okay, actually it is, I didn't meant to say that everybody was sitting together. It's a picture portraying that sections are divided, people are working in their own era. Okay, the industrial revolution definition. And industrial revolution, it is totally not only economic reform but also social and political realm society were also affected. Why industrial revolution Britain? We have seen different causes are there, and with Britain's advantage. Okay, geographically also, politically also, economically, raw material wise, everything they were at advantage so that they can start industrial revolution in the respective country. Okay, then components of industrial revolution we were seeing, impact of industrial revolution, and finally social consequences. This is much important. That is why I have included 2 slides, because little more you need the answer to write. Obviously, social consequence will be asked repeatedly. So you will have enough content to write the answers. Okay. So as usual, whenever question is asked about industrial revolution, talk about little about everything in a very smarter way of to write. Okay. If they're asking about social consequences, obviously you have to write what is industrial revolution, little bit about impact, reasons, everything, and then you speak in a wider perspective about social consequences. Okay. So in industrial revolution, any question comes, your answer should be ready. Okay. Now you can ask doubts. Okay, I think very easy topic. Nobody have doubt. Okay. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye.